It is Monday, November 6th, 2023. And looking out the window at Defiance, it's a blue sky, sunny day, kind of windy. I think there's supposed to be some gusts up to 40 miles an hour later today, but generally kind of a nice warmish day in the mid 60s, which is pretty nice for November. The devotion for today is entitled Deterring Wickedness, written by Molly Baskett. Molly bases the devotion upon Jeremiah 5, chapter 5, verse 26, 28b through 29, New Revised Standard Version. For the wicked are found among my people. They lie in wait like hunters, destroyers. They catch humans. They know no limits in deeds of wickedness. They do not judge with justice the cause of the orphan to make it prosper, and they do not defend the rights of the needy. And then Molly writes, a year from today will be the day after Election Day. God willing, we will know decisively who our president-elect is. If it is Donald Trump or anyone fashioned in his image, God help us all. Stochastic terrorism and nascent fascism will have an opportunity to cement their power in our political and military structures, to execute or imprison political opponents, to silence the press, to incite more hate and legislate against marginalized groups. If the victor is someone more moderate, there will be inevitable calls to move on from this polarizing political decade, to forgive and forget happenings like children separated from their migrant parents at the border, then lost, women and queer people denied bodily autonomy and safety, people of color robbed of their civil rights and voting power, low-income people driven into greater poverty, a world order imperiled by braggadocious slips and monetized state secrets, violence incited against everyone deemed the enemy, a climate crisis not only denied but supercharged by greed. The Hebrew prophets, like Jeremiah, had a long memory. Their job was not to forget, but to remember and make sure the people did as well. People who vividly remember the transgressions of those who led them who lead them can take action to hold them accountable for their sins and prevent future harm. Silence is permissiveness toward future evil, and some forgiveness comes too cheaply. And the prayer. God, give us a long memory and the will to hold evildoers accountable for their actions, that we might deter future wickedness against your people and the earth. Amen. Well, lots of things came to mind when I was reading this. One is I wasn't sure whether I wanted to tackle it or not because of the what some might view as the political statements being made in it. But I'm in agreement with it. I mean, I really think so many people miss the point of the Bible, the overarching story, that the biggest message in the Bible. And I mean, money and wealth, mammon is the number one topic in the Bible, and yet the majority of Christians in the U.S. today ignore all those passages and focus on things like abortion, LGBTQ issues, all sorts of things, everything but that. And over again, that's what the prophets talked about over and over again. That's what Jesus talked about. People are just missing the point. I mean, I really cannot understand anyone who is religious supporting some of the things that are going on in the political world and the decisions that are being made that negatively affect the most vulnerable in our midst. I just don't understand it, how it can be even considered to be Christianity or any faith tradition for that matter. So anyway, all kinds of those things were going through my mind, because it really is about how we get along with one another and how we support one another, how we live in community with one another. It's not about individual salvation. It's about salvation of community. Whatever you may think about the next life, I think Jesus was adamant that we needed to focus on this life. We were not to try to ignore what's going on in this life out of the sheer hope that the next life is going to be better. That's not what he was about, and that's not what he called for. And so I really struggle. And this devotion kind of bubbles all that up. Just my struggle with what so many quote unquote Christians do and say and focus on, and what they don't. I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't do everything I could do or should do. I keep trying, and I'm going to keep trying. But to even act like none of those things are important, it's just wrong. So your thoughts, these are my thoughts. Your thoughts may be completely different. That's the way devotions go. But I hope it gives you something to think about, and hope to talk to you again soon.